started with Microsoft Data Analytics. Thank you. Getting started with data analytics. So I spoke about data analysis. I spoke about Power BI. I spoke about your data source. I spoke about transformation. I spoke about dashboard and presentation. Hope you still remember that. Then I spoke about overview of data analysis. I spoke about data analysis is telling story with data. And I told you about the 5 categories of stories that you want to use your data to solve. Descriptive story, diagnostic story, predictive story, prescriptive story, cognitive story, right? Then we went ahead, we spoke about the roles in data. We spoke about business analyst, data engineer, data scientist, database administrators. And I remember I mentioned that business analyst has in-depth knowledge of the business and all the information you have gathered. He had the historical background of every information you've gathered. That is the role of business analyst. Business analysts define or put face to every figure you are generating, every functionality of the business, every flow of the business. Business analysts understood the nitty-gritties of what each function of the business is doing. While data analyst is concerned himself about the relationships of the data. Hello, are you following me? Data analyst is concerned himself about the relationship of the data, the impact of the data, the gains and loss of the data, the beauty of the data on your business. Data analyst is the one picturing your data, making meaning of your data, interpreting your data in such a way you can see when you are doing well and when you are doing bad in your business. Data analyst is the one that want to say, okay, based on the historical knowledge of our information, we can invest in this business and we are not going to make a loss, right? That's the job of data analyst. Now, data engineer is the custodian of, is the one that knows the integrities of the data itself, how you want to capture a clean data, the format to capture your data, the data that's supposed to be number, the data that's supposed to be string or letters, the data that's supposed to be video, the data that's supposed to be image, the data that's supposed to be document, the data that's supposed in whatever form. Data engineer design your data. Data engineer is also the one that will make sure you don't capture wrong data. You don't capture number instead of letter instead of number. Data engineer is the one that will make sure you are capturing the right information for the right purpose and so that you can have a right interpretation of your data. Data engineer will make sure you capture date for date, number for number, string for string. That's data engineer. Data scientist is the person that makes himself overseer of the section of your data. Okay, history of the informations of your information, while your database administrator is custodian of keeping your information. And the most popular of them until recently is database administrator. But recently, data analytics is taking the lead. But unfortunately, in some organization, business analysts most of time present himself to be data analyst. But their roles and function are, there is a thin line in between them. But some that are smart can do the two together. So those are the things we mentioned last week. Then, because this class is about data analyst, that is why we now look at what is the task of a data analyst. A data analyst prepare your data, model the data, visualize the data, analyze the data, and manage your data. That's the task of your data analyst. Okay, so we have some questions there to jump over them. Then we now move to Power BI. I make you to realize that your Power BI, you have the desktop, you have the you have the desktop one to prepare your information. You have the cloud one that you have then you have the mobile. Those are the three things you have in your Power BI. Okay. Then I told you that the building blocks of your Power BI, these are things that you make out of your Power BI. You have all this you come across all through the course. So that is what we did last week. Any question? Just let me run through them. Any question, class?
No.
No. Good. So today, I want to take another step further. Prepare data. That's what I want to look at. I want to get started with. Now, I'm leaving story back gradually. I'm moving towards preparation of data in Power BI. Okay? The first thing in preparing your data, I need to go and pick. Okay. How to do searching? Okay. Come in there. Okay. Can you see what I put here? As we are progressing, I'll be pointing to each of these tasks. So we're about to start about this. So most of the things we'll talk about today will be prepare data in Power BI. How do you prepare your data? What's your first information? Get data from various data sources, optimize performance, and resolve data errors. That's agenda of today. So data analytics and Microsoft. You will learn the following concept: getting data from various data sources, optimizing performance, resolving data errors. Introduction to getting data. The first step in data analytics processes is identify and getting data. Are you with me? Like most of us, you work for a company where you are required to build Microsoft Power BI reports. The data resides in several different databases and files. These data repositories are different from each other. Some are Microsoft SQL Server, some are Microsoft Excel, some are in Oracle, some are in Aurora AWS, some are in Azure Database, some are in MySQL, some are in Cosmos, some are Streams, some are in your WhatsApp, some are in your Telegram, some are on the cloud, some are in Alibaba, Amazon. Various sources of information. I remember I showed you some last week, but all the data is related. Hello, am I communicating to class?
Yes, you are.
Good.
Yes,
I want to feel you. Okay. Before you can create reports, you must first extract data from various data sources. Interacting with SQL Server is different from Excel, so you should learn the nuance of both systems. After you've learned the particulars of each system, you can use Power Query, the query engine behind your Power BI, and Excel to help you clean the data, such as renaming columns, replacing values, removing errors, and combining query results. So some of us that might have come across data analytic jobs out there, a whole department is doing this data preparation. They mostly call them architect and data engineering units. Their job is to get data from various sources, okay? And this involves a lot of work. If you have a volume of data, you want to move them to Azure Cloud for you to analyze, you have ADF, that's ADF tool to move your Azure data. Sorry, I'm trying to remember ADF full meaning now. Azure Data Factory tool to move your information from on-premise to cloud. Okay, and there are so many functionalities that goes in Azure Data Factory. So preparing your data is not a small boy task. It's a huge job. Okay, it's a huge job. Okay, after the data has been cleaned, again, when you now move it into your warehouse where you want to analyze, the next thing to do is to clean your data. When you are cleaning your data, what are you doing? You are looking at column-wise, the name. Is the name descriptive enough? Remember, these informations are coming from different areas. Most especially when your information is coming from a customized application. The developer, most of the time, they don't care about the name they give to their columns, to their rows, to their fields. They name them anyhow. They just name them the way it's convenient for them. They name them the name they call them during the project. Okay? But you that you want to analyze the data, you need a meaningful information. You have to tune the name. You have to tune some of the sizes. You have to tune some of the modality of capturing data, either number, either string. Some information you have to split. Some information you have to match together so that you get a better result. These are what you are doing when you are cleaning and organize your data. You are ready to build the reports in Power BI. Okay? Finally, you will publish your combined data set and report to Power BI service. That's the third one I got mixed up the other time. Your desktop, your Power BI service, and your dashboard. So from there, other people can use your data set and build their own reports, or they can use the report that you've already built. Additionally, if someone else built a data set that you'd like to use, you can build a report from that tool of another person. Okay, so you can see from the screen that you are looking at here, I gave you sample of information, sales data, which is from Microsoft Server, HR data from Microsoft Excel, warehouse app from Cosmos DB, finance Azure analysis from Server Cube. I also said your sales goals come from SharePoint. Okay, what are your streaming information? What of information streaming live, getting data directly from the field? These are part of the information you can analyze. Am I communicating, telling you about the source of where your data is coming from? Any question for me? Hello, any questions for me?
No.
Good. I want to drop a hint for you here. Put it on your left-hand side. Your classroom experience is different from your corporate body experience. I want to shock you tonight. I lost a job in August, a remote job in August. Do you know why I lost it? Do you know why?
No.
Tell us, we don't know.
The guy is looking for hands-on. I have been an instructor telling my students how to handle your data, how to manage your data. Okay? So when we now interact, when we are talking, simply say, where can I reference that you've done this before? So I want you, as you are learning in my class, be looking for how to dirty your hands on data analytics. Microsoft has made life easier. We are going to work on orchestrated, simulated environments that will give you what you want. Thank God I have done enough home ground. Thank God I have dirtied my hands since August till now. After teaching for almost 2 years, consulting with Philip Consulting. Okay, so I have weighed both sides. My experience in the classroom is different from my experience in the corporate body. Organization, and again, I want to warn you, again, as a data analyst, please, you are not custodian of data. Yours is to come and analyze data. And whatever you want to do is management that will tell you what to do from beginning to the end. They will tell you we've been gathering our data for the past 30, 35, 50 years. Analyze for us. These are the information we want. Maybe you cannot be telling that you can, oh, in my opinion, in my view, you can do this. You can only advise. You cannot dictate to them. You cannot be emphatic with them. Again, some of us might get job in sensitive organization. The more you look, the less you see. I want to warn you about that. Thank God, majority of us are in UK, you are outside, you are out there, you know that is. And I think I mentioned to you last week, your data science encompasses about 4 buckets. You have your governance and data governance and privacy. Is talking about the areas where you can move information to. You can't take information of UK and upload to a storage in Australia. And I'm sure China will not allow you to move this information from China to US. Governance and privacy is the rules and regulations, the policies that guide where you move your data to. Okay. Apart from that, you now have your data architecture and engineering, and I've explained what data architecture and engineering for you today. They are the ones getting the data from the source and make sure they are properly kept. Then you now have your data analytics, the class you are in. From what your data engineering has done, you now begin to analyze the data, publish to Power BI service, publish to mobile, then you create a dashboard for management. Okay. Another good part of data that is yet to be popular, data monetization. Monetization is when you are exchanging your data with an organization. It's not free. You pay for it these days. And after data monetization, I think that's all. That's all. So these are the buckets where your data sciences is. Okay. So when you find yourself as a data analyst, you work hand in hand with your team members, and they will be telling you, mostly business analysts talk more on the side of the business. He works with the management. He exchanges things with the management. Okay, good. Organizations often export and store data in files. Most of the time, for you to analyze data, they won't allow you to connect to their database directly, like connecting to the bank Oracle, bank SQL, bank or organization secured information. Most of the time, they will move those information to a warehouse whereby you need to analyze. They won't allow you most time. No organization will allow you to analyze data on the live environments. Am I communicating? So organizations often export and store data in files. One possible file format is a flat file. A flat file is a type of file that has only one data table, and every row of data is in the same structure. So the file does not contain hierarchies. Likely you are familiar with most common type of flat file, which are comma separated values, CSV files. I know many of us will have used CSV file in our offices. You also have your delimited text files and fixed width files. There is another one that may be a doubt. Is anybody that has come across a file packet here? Packet files. It's like your CSV file, but this time around it treats data in column wise, not in row wise. And when it's saved, it saves data much smaller than your CSV file. That is one of the files that your Azure Cloud save information to, packets. Okay. Another type of file will be the output file from different applications, like Microsoft Excel. Okay, Power BI desktops allow you to get data from any type of file. Am I communicating? Hello?
Yes, you're communicating.
Good. Now, next thing is to determine the location of the file. The first step is to determine which file location that you want to use to export and store your data, either local or you want to export to OneDrive or SharePoint, and I'm adding that you want to export to your Microsoft Azure or AWS. Depends on your choice. And I want to tell you another funny thing you need to know. When you are exporting your data to cloud, you are exporting freely, but when you want to download your data, you are paying for it. Can you hear that?
Yes.
It's just like when you are bringing your money to bank. Bankers will tell you, bring it, 1 billion, 10 billion, 100 million, they will collect it from you. But if you want to withdraw money, at times they will ask for your grandfather's birthday. They will ask for your great-grandmother birthday certificate before you withdraw your money. But when you are saving this money, they are not asking you for anything. Just deposit. Because they use your money for business. So they don't want you to take the money to another bank. They know they have competitor. So when you are bringing your money to Barclays banks, they will collect from you. Bank of, mention some of the banks in UK there. Hi.
Bank of England.
Bank of
Wait.
England. Come in there. Okay. Bank of England.
Lloyd's Bank.
Which bank do you have there again? I know we have Barclays Bank. Am I correct? Am I correct? Talk to me now.
It's BAR.
BAR.
Yeah, then CLAYS.
Okay. BAR. C.
Barclays Bank. Clay, like clay, soil.
Okay, no, okay.
Yeah, Barclays Bank. S.
Barclays. Okay, thank you.
Bank of Scotland.
Bank of Scotland. Which are that popular? Okay, Australia. What's the name of the bank in Australia?
There are several ones. We have St. George's,
St. George.
National Australia Bank.
St. George. Okay. National
Australia Bank. NAB. No,
Okay.
there is no N there. It's just Australia. National
Okay,
Australia.
yeah, okay. France, Paris. Mention the banks in Paris for me.
Okay, we have LCL. Just put LCL.
LC.
L, yeah.
Bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have a BNP Paribas, like BN and P.
BNK Paribas.
No, BNP. No, BNP.
P like this.
Yeah, Paribas. Remove the S and put BAS. Yeah, BNP Paribas. S, Paribas, yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Bank, right?
No, without the bank. Just BNP
Oh, without the
Paribas.
bank. Okay, yeah. BNP Paribas. Okay. My Ghanaian friend, tell me. I think I have Bank of Ghana, correct? Talk to me.
Yeah, Bank of Ghana. Yes, please.
Okay. I hope that is not the CBN of Ghana.
Say that again, sorry.
Eh?
Sorry, say that again, please.
I hope that is not the Central Bank of Ghana.
I think that's where the money is.
No. CBN is more or less a government bank. You don't transact normal business. Okay, bank. Which other bank do you have in Ghana?
HSBC.
HSBC. Great. Good. Now, all these banks you see here, there are data governance and privacy that in custodian or the policies or where you can take their information to. You dare not take information of Bank of England and say you are going to China. I am very much convinced they won't allow you to do that. So there are level of controls around them. Okay, so one of the roles of data engineering before, this is the way it was. When data before data comes to you to analyze, it must have passed through your governance and privacy units. They will have determined, okay, this is where this information is coming from, this is where this information can stay. Okay, so good. Having understood where some of our information lies, Okay. Connect to the data file on the home tab, select get data. That you will see when we want to import data to Power BI. In the list that display the select option that, okay, let me do a jump gun because I am the teacher. I want to launch Power BI for you to see, don't worry. Okay, in the list of the display select option that you require, such as either text, CSV, and co, select the data. That's how to import your data into your Power BI. That you will see as time progresses. My Power BI is loading. Don't trouble yourself about what you are looking at the moment. Can you see my screen? That's a Power BI, the tool to analyze the data. And what I'm demonstrating, if you want to get your data, you click here. Can you see? These are sources of your data. Can you see? Can you see how large they are? All the list you are looking at. Hello, class, are you together?
Yes, we're here, sir.
Okay, can you see your Excel workbook? Text class CSV, XML, JSON, folder, PDF. Look at Packwell. This is what I was talking about. This is an Azure. It's like a text file. It's similar to your CSV file, but your CSV file handle your data in rows, but this Packwell handle your data in columns. We have shared some of us that have been exposed to SharePoint. You can import your data. We will demonstrate this class with Microsoft SQL and CSV file, Access, SQL Server, Analysis Service Data, Oracle Data, IBM DB2 database. Some of us are used to that. IBM Informix. Some of us, that's what we are, across the globe. I'm sure you, the guy in France, the guy in France you may not know. Can you find out the kind of popular database in France? I want to know, or if you know, you can tell me now.
The major database we use in France is on the Europa, the EU. It's on
Good.
the EU website.
And what's the name of the database?
It's
SQL.
you mean the name of the database we use?
Yeah, the database data management software, DBMS name. Is it Oracle? It's not Oracle. I'm sure it's not Oracle. It's not Microsoft SQL.
Well, most times they use. I don't know if MATLAB is the same with that.
MATLAB.
They use MATLAB most of the time, and they use R, I guess.
They do what?
They use R also.
No, those are programming languages. Oh, those are MATLAB and R. They are programming languages for dissecting your data. Find out tomorrow. Find out.
Okay.
Yeah. What are my Ghanaian friends? What database is popular in Ghana?
For that, I can't really tell because I'm familiar with Azure Cosmos DB and AWS Azure. You know, I'm not really sure what database is common in Ghana.
In Ghana, okay. What are my guys in Australia?
There are several options. We
Yeah.
have Google Cloud
Popular ones.
SQL.
I'm talking of popular ones.
Microsoft SQL and Google Cloud SQL. Yeah.
Okay, great. Some of us in UK, I know UK is a mixture of many. I doubt it that may not likely be any popular in UK and US. They use them as conveniences and the licenses they are paying. Can you talk to me? The common database they use in UK?
I know they use Oracle. Some companies use Oracle.
Okay.
I think SQL is also one that I've heard a lot about.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you've not seen company using it?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I'm not close to a lot of companies that deal with this.
No, just sampling our opinion. Okay, so these are the leads. MySQL is there, PostgreSQL is there, Sybase is there, Teradata is there, SAP is there. All along, you can see Azure. You can see Azure SQL database, Azure Snapfish, Analytics SQL, Azure Blob, Azure Table Storage. All along, you can see many. Okay, great. If you are changing a file path, make sure that you reconnect to the same file path with the same file name. So that is that about. Sorry, okay. Let me close. We'll touch base on this probably next week. So these are sample or source of the data. Okay. Okay, and look at the right hand side here. They are telling you the content of it. I'm sure some of us that are used to Excel, you will have seen this kind of information like this before, right? Let's move on. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I have my answer.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Talk to me.
Okay, yeah. So here they use SAP for HANA and SAP FICO mostly.
Good. Where is that? UK?
No, France.
France. Okay. SAP. Yeah. It's part of data source. Let me see. Let me show you. Thank you for. Oh, I've closed it anyway. Okay, I'll minimize it. Okay. Come to this get data. SAP. Can you see it? SAP HANA database, SAP Business Warehouse, SAP Business Warehouse message server. So you can see your Amazon, you can see your Impala, you can see your Google BigQuery, you can see your BigQuery, Azure Beta, Vertical. So name it. All you need is some of us will have come across Salesforce, Salesforce report. All you need to learn is how does Power BI manipulate information that comes from all these places. Let me just minimize the case we seem to go there. So the next thing is looking at get data from relational database source. SQL to Power BI, okay? If your organization uses a relational database like SQL, Oracle to record the sales transaction, you can use Power BI desktop to establish a connection to your organization relational database rather than getting data from individual flat files. You can pull your information directly from relational database. It all depends on what the policies of your organization say about keeping your data. How many people? Just want to know. How many? Hi, are we here?
Yes, we are.
So it depends on the policies of what your data governance and privacy set for your organization. Connecting Power BI to your database will help you to monitor the progress of your business and identify trends so you can forecast sales figures, plan budgets, and set performances indicators and targets. Power BI Desktop can connect to many relational databases that are either in the cloud or on-premise. Okay? So your organization might decide to connect your Power BI directly with your database so that they will see live updates of your information. Depends on how big your information is. Imagine if Bank of England, well, it's a matter of buying the resources on the cloud. Okay. Bank of England, if they are strong enough, they can connect their Power BI directly to their database. They only need to buy more more CPU, more memory, more hardware resources in the cloud, and it's going to make analyzing their data as quickly as possible. But if they have inkling of any attack on their data, they will not do that. So connect to relational database store, use get data in Power BI, and select the applicable. You will see those ones when we want to import data to Power BI, select the data to import. So optional import data by writing. You can also import data by writing SQL query. Okay, you can change your data source after you bring it to data to Power BI. So you can also get data from NoSQL, that is information that are not, we've spoken about relational database. Here you can get your data from information that are not related together. Okay, some organizations don't use a relational database, but instead, people like Alibaba, they have combination of relational and non-relational database. Okay, NoSQL database also referred to as non-SQL. Okay, not only SQL or non-relational is a flexible type of database that does not use tables to store information. There could be video, there could be SMS messages, text messages. Okay, those are the things that you can. Example include Azure Cosmos DB is not a relational database. Azure Blob is not a relational database. Table storage, MongoDB, they are not a relational database. Okay, with Power BI and Power Query Editor, you can ingest NoSQL data which resembles a table with rows and columns and release that data to other sources. Okay, so those are the things you can do. You can connect to your non-SQL database in get data select. When we are progressing, we will see those ones. Okay, select your data and all other information that you intend to bring to your cloud environment. Good. You can also get data from applications like SAP Plus, okay, like Salesforce. To support their daily operations, organizations frequently use a range of software applications such as SharePoint, okay. SharePoint, the data of SharePoint. So, is there anyone of us that have been exposed to SharePoint in this class? Anyone?
Is that like Microsoft
Yes.
SharePoint where you can exchange files between organizations? Is that what you mean?
SharePoint is like a workflow within an organization. It's another product of Microsoft that has go in leaps and bounds. Is there anyone of us that have used it before?
Yes,
Okay, is that?
I'm Rexford.
Oh, Rexford. So you use, that's good. So how was the experience of SharePoint like?
Yeah, so basically we keep our files, our documents. So in terms of, for instance, our QA processes, Yeah, or documents basically. We
Okay.
save it in SharePoint.
Okay, great. It's also a document management application, correct? Okay, that's one there. Those data tomorrow we can import to Power BI for analysis. Okay, so then you can also choose application that data to import. Select the list that you want and code like that. You see them as progresses. So what we are demonstrating here is you can get your data from application like SharePoint. Let's move on. Get data from analysis services. This is a product of Microsoft, one of its products. Analytical data engine that lets you digest data from multiple data sources and create calculation on fly. So SQL Server analysis. What they are demonstrating here, if you remember, some of us that work with SSIS in Microsoft, those SSIS today is already transformed and exported to Azure Data Factory. Okay, Azure Data Factory. So Azure Analysis Services is an Azure product that allows you to ingest data, okay, from multiple data sources, build relationship between the data, and create a calculation on the data. Okay, it allows you to bring data from many sources, get data, and build calculation, create calculations on the data using different tools. And one of the tools we use that we are going to explore in the course of this course is your DAX. DAX is data analysis expression. Okay, they are built in using DAX. Azure Analysis Services is similar to data modeling and storage technology in Power BI. We will see all this when we start the lab class. Let me tell you, my friends, last class and today will be our most easiest class in the course of this journey. From next week, it might be a little, I might stress you a bit. I love you, but I will stress you. Similar to a relational database, you can choose tables that you want to use. If you want to directly query the Azure Analysis Service model, you can use your DAX to do that. Okay. Notable difference between Azure Analysis and cubes and SQL Server are analysis service cubes have calculations already in the cube, which will be discussed in more detail later. Some of us that I may not go into details there because some people don't understand what cube is all about. Cube is when you've exported your data to your warehouse, okay? And it has some lines of calculation around it. So if you don't need an entire table, you can only query the data directly instead of using Transact SQL to query the data like you would in SQL Server, you can use multidimensional expression, MDX, or data analysis expression to do the analysis of the data. Just hold those things in your left hand. When we are progressing, you will see them in the course of the study. Get data from another way of getting your data is Microsoft Data Vault. Some of us that are, is there anybody that have heard of Power Platform on this in this class? Power Platform. Hello? Is there anybody that have seen Power Platform or heard of it or done anything with it in this class? Anybody? Sende Orola, welcome to this class.
Thank you.
How are you as a day?
So far, so good.
Tell me a few things about yourself. You are just joining me today.
I'm from, I just left the other meeting. I'm cyber security, and
just want to come and check on us, right?
yeah, just to see if I can pick one or two
You're
knowledge.
welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so getting data from Microsoft Dataverse, it seems nobody is aware of Power Platform, so don't let me bother you much there. Another way you can get the data is through data flows. Okay, your SharePoint is an example of a data flow that, okay, may I ask, Australia, UK, France, tell me sample of data flow you guys have been exposed or you've heard of. Is anybody telling me something? Data flow? Hello? Are we together? Hello, can you hear me?
Okay.
Is that referring to it like ERD diagram, like entity relationship diagram?
No, data flow, no. A data flow is a collection of tables that are created and managed in workspace in the Power BI service within the contents of Power BI. But outside Power BI, a workflow is to manage your information from end to end, from beginning to the end. Workflow is like they want to eliminate carry paper across offices. That's where data flow comes from. Any organization that implements a data flow, when you generate, say like you want to purchase a stationery, someone will originate the document of buying a stationery. Then it will pass through approval level, approval processes. Everybody will electronic signature, append to it, approve. Some could approve, some could reject, some could modify it. So from beginning to the last person that will go and get money and buy the stationaries. That is what workflow does. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to explain. So you can see add entities to start creating your data flow. You can see the diagram you have here. You can see your add entity, move on like that until you get to the end. You can see the arrow that add a new entity, add link entities, move to choose your data source, and your Power BI, you get your information, you transform and modify it, you publish to Power BI service, then you generate your dashboard report. This is a kind of a data flow from beginning to the end. Okay? A table is a set of columns that are used to store data, much like a table within a database. You can add and edit tables in your data flow and manage data and refresh schedules directly from the workspace which your data flow was created. Getting data from workflow, you can connect your data flow all along like that. Let's move on. Review questions. Which query language do you use to extract data from Microsoft SQL? Who remember when I mentioned it? Hello, class.
Is it analysis service? No.
No.
Oh.
How many of us have interacted with
Power Query?
Microsoft
Is
Power
it Power
Query?
Query? Yeah.
No. How many of us have interacted with Microsoft SQL before? How many?
I think it's Java.
Java is a programming language. Who is talking to me?
It's SQL, sir.
It's what?
SQL.
SQL. What is the full meaning of SQL?
Structured query language.
Come again?
Is it structured query language?
Great. Correct. That's Rexford, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Structured query language. But you omitted a letter behind it. Is Transact SQL. Transact structured query language. Is universal among relational database. Both MySQL, Microsoft SQL, Oracle, Aurora database in AWS, or IBM database, IBM DB2 database, all of them are relational database, and they make use of Transact SQL. Okay, TSQL in brief. Can't say. Let's move on. Question 2 for review. You are creating Power BI reports with data from Azure Analysis Service queue. When the data refreshes in queue, you would like to see it immediately in the Power BI report. How should you connect? Does anybody take notes? Does anybody take notes? You want your queue to be refreshing as you are publishing data on it. You make use of your Connect Live, Connect Live, Connect Live, Connect Live. Okay. Last question. What can you do to improve performance when you are getting data in Power BI? What can you do to improve performance when you are working with your Power BI? Please, I want you to take note of this question. Okay. What can you do?
You can improve, you can clean it by passing it through Power Query.
No.
Limit the number of visuals in dashboard.
I don't want to waste much. I don't want to waste much of your time. See, instead of doing your calculation on Power BI, you do most of your calculation from the source and now import it to database, to your Power BI. It make it faster and make your Power BI run faster. Let's move on. Optimize performance. Optimize performance. What does it mean? Okay. Select a story mode. Specify the story mode of a table and let Power BI determine how to catch data for reports. Set the story mode for each table. Okay. The most popular way to use data in Power BI is to import it into Power BI data sets. That's the most popular way. Okay. Importing the data means that the data is stored in the Power BI file and gets published along with the Power BI report. This process helps make it easier for you to interact directly with your data. However, this approach might not work for all organizations. Most of the time, you won't, until we get to demonstration, you won't appreciate this. When you import your data in your Power BI, it depends on the volume of the data. When you are talking of 1 billion records, when you are talking of 1 terabyte data and you want to import to your Power BI, bros, your memory will fried up straight. So most of the time you have to connect live to those database that when you want to generate any report, you go to the storage and bring up your report and display. Okay, these I will be pointing to you when we get to Power BI. The 3 different types of storage modes you can choose is one, you can import. The import mode allow you to create a local Power BI copy of your data set from your data source. When you are importing, you are creating a copy of the data from your data set, from SQL Server, from Oracle, you are copying it to Power BI. The next one is direct query. What's direct query? Create a direct connection to the data source like Connect Live, ensuring your data is not cached and you are always being the most up-to-date of your data. So you are running a query against the source of your data. That one, the deficiency of that one is if your network fluctuates, now you have a power failure. Well, unfortunately, it can only be in this part of the world where I come from. And nobody asked me where am I from, so none of my students. All of you are, I know you told me you are from France, Australia, I know majority are from UK. Nobody cares to know where I come from. Did anybody care about that?
Maybe we inferred it.
Maybe what?
Maybe we inferred it, like we could tell. I don't know.
Oh, can you try? I remember I come from one of the best countries in the world. So guess and tell me where I come from.
Nigeria.
So you agree with me that Nigeria is the best country in the world? Thank you.
Well,
I'm a Nigerian. Great. So direct query, create direct connection to data source, ensure your data is not cached. So again, when you cache your data in memory, some hackers can interject your data, but direct query doesn't allow that. That's a sort of security. Then dual composite, that's where you have both your inputs, you have some parts in Power BI, and you have some connection on the on-prem. Okay, good. So you identify some data to be directly imported and other data that must be queried. Some data, they will tell you this data cannot leave this premise. This data cannot stay with you till tomorrow. It's not possible. They will tell you, they will let you know that. So however, sometimes there may be security requirements around your data that make it impossible to directly import a copy, or your data set may simply be too large and will take too long. So you use a direct query to do that. And you want to avoid creating a performance bottleneck. So Power BI solves this problem by using the direct query. When your data is large, when your data is in a place that you cannot copy from, okay, at a point you can use your direct query to pull those information to your Power BI set. You will see that as it progresses. Good. Any question? Don't worry.
I have a question.
Please
Sorry.
go ahead. Please go ahead.
So regarding the direct query and import mode, the storage mode. So
Yes.
you mentioned that one of the challenges of the import mode is the space if you're dealing with a huge amount of data.
Yes.
And then for that, direct query would be the way to go. But I'm then
Yes.
wondering if you're doing a live connection with the data, is there still not the challenge of the RAM space because your computer is going to be running a continuous program, or you don't know how it works? I'm just trying to see how we're still not going to be using the computer's RAM space, unless it's being done on the cloud or something. Just wondering. I don't know if my
Okay.
question makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I have told you that those stupid questions. All questions are welcome. You know, the whole idea is this. One of the things that dictate the pace of what you do is the finances involved. I am currently running on a project. That project is we are migrating some millions of records to Azure Cloud. But this organization, they have paid price on an Azure environment. You know, Microsoft will tell you Azure Cloud is simple, it's easier to use. When you are working on 8 core, you can increase it to 16 core, you can increase it to 32 core. Their sister, their brethren, increase to 16 core. It's not free of charge. You pay for it. Are you getting what I'm saying? So now the question is, cloud is I was explaining to one of my technical guys today, I remember, he didn't want to face the reality that cloud it looks cheap, but cost. He wants to hint on the fact that but you can increase your memory, you can increase your storage, you can increase your CPU core. Yes, you can increase. But the question is, do you have the budget? Do you have the money to do that? So, and that is what led to the question you are asking me, my lady. So when you are doing Power BI, apart from money, when you are importing your data, when this data will work is loaded into the memory of your computer. So you are doing your analysis of the memory, and that will slow down your system. But when you do a connect query, you leave your data at the source, wherever it may be, and you run a direct query to it. So you only pull information that you need to your Power BI. Very beautiful, as I demonstrated it. But some factors could mitigate against you. If your network is not good or your source of netcom is not good, you'll be in trouble. Okay? Now, even though if your network is okay, what of your bandwidth? Remember, you pay for bandwidth. Okay? Technology will tell you 1000 megabits has a high throughput. How much are you paying for 1000 terabytes or 1000 gigabytes cell? In the organization I was talking about, they have a 200 gigabytes of data in their bandwidth to move. And how cheap is that? So money determines what you are talking about and the action you are taking. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good. So occasionally organization will need to address performance again. Another thing is the distance. You want to connect your data to analyze, and you are in Manchester United, and your server is somewhere in Kent or somewhere in Ireland. They are still within UK. So what's the latency of transferring information? What's the latency of keeping information and monitoring? So those are the things that could constitute your performance. Consider the scenario where you are building reports for sales team in your organization. You've reported your data, which is in several tables within the sales team's SQL database. By creating a data connection to the data through data direct query, when you create preliminary versions of filter, you notice that some tables are queried faster than the others, and some filters are. So you can weigh very things that you are doing, the one that is cheaper than faster in your data environment. So another tool that you can use to query 1 minute, please. Okay. Hello? Can we talk by level 12? I'm in a class. 12 in 30 minutes time. Okay. I will call you. I will call you 12. I'll call you 12. Thanks. Okay. Sorry, class, a friend just dropped a message for me. Hello, are you together? Hello?
Yes, we are together.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, another tool that you can use to study query performance is query diagnostics. This feature allows you to determine what bottlenecks, if any, exist while loading and transforming your data. Okay, while you are refreshing your data in Power Query, while you are running SQL statements, you will see all these ones as you progress. So don't let me waste much of your time. Optimize query performance. 1 second. Okay, thank you. So now, performance in Power Query depends heavily on the performance at the data source. Follow performance tuning guidelines of the source products. Some performance tuning can be done in Power BI. So all this is talking about how to make your Power Query efficient. A performance in Power Query depends on the performance at the data source level. The variety of data sources that Power Query offers is very wide, and the performance tuning techniques for each source are equally wide. If your data is coming from Oracle, tune your data from Oracle. If your data is coming from Cosmos, tune your data from Cosmos. If your data is coming from Azure, tune your data from Azure. That is what we are trying to say here, so that you can get efficient. Okay? So, good SQL Server performance tuning techniques include index creation, hardware upgrade, execution plan tuning, and data compression. These topics are beyond the scope here. We are not even talking about it here. So Power Query take advantage of good performance at the data source through a technique called query folding. Okay, then, so these are the things. Then what is query folding? Query folding, the process that lets Power Query generate a single query statement to retrieve and transform source data. The query folding within Power Query Editor helps you to increase the performance of Power BI. Okay, reports. Query folding is the process by which the transformation and edit that you make in Power BI query are simultaneously tracked as a native queries or select SQL statements. Good. Now, look at what you are saying. When you are bringing in your data, your query folding, look at where you have this applied text, start from source, navigation, whatever you are doing on your query is recorded it with you. Don't worry, you will see it when we are bringing data to Power BI next week. So the reason for implementing this process is to ensure that this transformation can take place in an original data source. You can use Power Query to load data into Power BI. Use your Power Query editor, you can then make further transformation to your data, such as renaming. These are transformations you can do on your data, deleting some columns, appending some columns, passing some columns, filtering some columns, combine some columns, separate some columns. Okay, so those are the things we will do. So the benefits of query folding include more efficiency in data refresh and incremental refreshes. When you import data tables by using query folding, Power BI is better to allocate resource. All these things I'm explaining here, you will come across them when we are doing practical starting from our next class. Any question? So this takes me to the end of today's class.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
good.
The benefit of query folding.
Query folding will allow you to optimize performance of the data you bring to your Power BI because it's tracking every transformation you are doing on your data. So you can modify any, you can take anyone out, you can delete any, you can append any. So that's what query folding does. Clear? Just hold it that way. By the time we are bringing data to Power BI, you will appreciate it. Any other question? This is not, let me tell you, this is not a theoretical class. Last class and today's class is the theory, is the background of the course. By God's grace, starting from next class, is look and, well, by the activity that will run through during the week, you will know that we are preparing for a practical class, starting from next one. Somebody wants to talk to me? Go ahead.
Yes, please. Thank you. So, I've just jotted down a few questions. So, and when you were covering data governance and privacy,
Yeah.
so you talked about how the data is managed, who should see it, and all of that. In the case of remote working, and which is quite common in the field we're in, the data analysis, many of us would end up working remotely. So because you're working remotely, I suppose the organization that you'll be working with would put some safeguard into the system because you'll be out of office, working pretty much anywhere. I'm just wondering what examples of real life examples of safeguarding measures that some organizations will want to put in place to try and protect their data.
Supposing you are working with Barclays Bank, and I don't know if any of us, maybe if you stumble to some of these banks, you can figure out which bank application they are using. In Nigeria, where I am, the popular bank application is Finacle and FlexKey. So across the globe, I want to see more. Some of these things, when you are working remotely, primarily most of the time, they only give you data reader access. You can only read data. Some sensitive information, they will lock column they don't want you to see. You will not be able to select some columns in the table. They are there, but they are hidden. Okay? And most of your assignment, your function will never cover those columns. Will never. Okay? So they will only expose you to what they want you to see. That's what most of the policies is list the least information to be exposed to is what they will give you.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And some sensitive information they will not give to a remote staff. They will give it to in-house staff. Right? If you are working if you are in UK, you are working remotely to France or to US. I'm sure there are levels as a data analyst, there are levels, if you are working from UK to US, there are some internal information they will not allow you to see. Why some organizations will not pick you because they are not in US. You are technically sound, you are good, you have all it takes to do the job, but by governance and privacy, you are in the wrong place. They will not give you that job.
Does that
except
then, yeah,
except a moment, except if they see some great values in you, they can decide to move you down to US. They will take you out of UK because in such data, you can't even download their data. You can only work on their server and off you go. So you want to say something? Go on.
No, I was just wondering, does that then put a kind of limit on your prospect in terms of jobs? Because
No.
no, okay.
There's no limit. There's no limit. The only thing is data governance and privacy. Sure, you know, data governance and privacy is a profession in UK. There is a whole book. There is a whole book written for data protection. Call me. And you know the funny thing, I had to buy that book online. They didn't allow me to buy it. They didn't allow me to buy it. Just a moment. Just give me, I want to check. Okay. It's not this. Okay. I want you to check on this book tomorrow, Data Protection, A Practical Guide to UK Laws by Peter Carey, 6th edition. It's an Oxford book. It's on Amazon, and it's also, check it out and tell me your experience of this book in the next class.
Can you please repeat the name of the author?
Data Protection. It's a green, the cover is, the 6th edition cover is green color. It's produced by Oxford by Peter Carey. Peter Carey. And below you will see a practical guide to UK law. Okay? UK law on your governance and privacy. So really, they are not limiting you, but there is control of information you can have access to. Julius, I am convinced there are some organizations that will not employ you at all. Oh, 1 minute. I have a power failure. Let me quickly on Jen. Just give me 1 minute. Hello, class. I'm back.
Welcome back, sir.
Sorry for the interruption. Can you see my screen now? Can you?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. So this is how I will stop. So did you take note of the book I mentioned now? Juliet.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. So these are the things. Then I was also explaining to you that some of the job they can give you when you are applying for a job, be sensitive to whoever that is talking to you. Okay. There are controls on the information they can allow people to see. That's data governance and privacy for you. Any other question, class?
Yes, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
When you spoke about the means of getting data from various sources, you said one of them was by direct. You use the term. Is it direct query?
Direct query, yes.
Right. From the description that you gave, I thought you mentioned that when you do a direct query, it allows you to bypass some of the restrictions due to governance and privacy. Is that correct?
No. It's not giving. You are not bypassing anything. As a matter of fact, before you can do a direct query, your data governance also dictates, also taking cognizant the data you can do direct query to. It's only those data that are within your jurisdiction. It's only those data that your policy covers. It's only those data that your management permitted that you can do that to.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. That explains it. Thank you very much.
Friends, it's an interesting course. I can assure you that. And it's a delicate course. Okay? Then, your job is very beautiful and it can also put you in limelight. Because when you do analysis, you are giving report to management. Some report will elevate some of your staff. Some report will take off some of your staff. This is where you have to be careful when they are giving you job. You must make sure you understand what they are asking for. And as you are gathering your data, you are cleaning the data, you are running it through the necessary person in that department. Who is who in that department? Who that can cut short in that unit is seeing every bit of the data and is confirming it. You don't, as a data analyst, you don't present a report of an organization that is not ratified by the people that gave you the job. No. And you don't share their reports illegally. Dangerous. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. It's a beautiful job. It's a nice job. It can also put you in trouble if it's not well managed. Any question? Please, I'm not scaring you, but I need to tell you the reality of the job you are going to. And again, I am glad this course is an international course. It's not a local course. And I remember I said it to you last week, the guy in France, if you work with Francophone group, your Power BI will be written in French language. Definitely, if you understand French very well, whatever I am teaching you here is applicable there. It's just change my English to French. That's all. If you move to US, definitely they are the owner. You speak your English. If you go to China, Power BI is Power BI. It's only they will write their Power BI in Chinese language.
Chinese language.
Huh?
I said in Chinese language.
Good. So, but the principle remains. Whatever I am explaining to you in this class is the same across the globe. If you go to the Arab land, Saudi Arabia, if you go to United UAE, and you want to speak to them in their language, the same thing that I'm explaining to you is what you will see. A minute. What's happening to my light? Sorry, hold on a minute. Sorry for interruption, please. So as I was saying, whatever we are saying in this class is across globe, that way. Good. Any other question? Can progress? Hello, class.
Yes, we can progress.
Okay. Thank you. We're almost rounding up. So I review questions. Which storage mode leaves the data at the data source? I've answered this question not quite long ago. Who can help me?
None, because the import mode copies, not move. I was going to say the import mode, but it copies the data, not move it. So,
okay,
is it none then?
Which one? So you now answer the question. Though.
Yeah, I said none of them.
Are you sure? Okay, let me have that view. That's Juliet talking. So should I start mentioning names? Everybody must be talking in my class. Everybody must be talking. Albert, talk to me. I've not heard your voice today.
I would say the import mode, because if it copies the data, so it means the main data is still at the data source. So the import mode.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Godwin, what's of you?
I think it's direct.
Come again?
Direct query.
Why are you, who is talking? Direct query. Who is saying direct query? Who is that?
Miriam.
Miriam. Why are you afraid?
I'm not afraid.
Yes. But you are not sure of yourself.
It's direct query.
You got it right.
Okay.
So it's direct query. Read the question. Which storage mode
Yes.
leaves the data at the data source. It didn't make a copy to Power BI. Let's look at the data source, the direct query. Your imports, bring a copy to the Power BI. So it makes a copy and leave the source. So when you are making a change to this at the source, it's not affecting the one on Power BI. But your direct source did not make a copy, just connect it with it there. And when you are making modification, it's also changing, it's also reflecting on your data. Okay. Direct query. The next question. Which technology improves performance by generating a single query statement to retrieve and transform source data? Which technology improves? Who took note of that?
Query folding.
That's query folding.
Query folding.
Whose voice echo first? Who spoke first?
Juliet.
It's a lady.
It's a lady
Juliet.
voice. Juliet. Okay. Juliet, you are wonderful. You are correct. Query folding. Query folding. Okay. Good. So finally tonight we have a few slides to run through. Resolving data errors. What are you doing? You are running up. Identify and resolve data import errors. You may encounter the following errors: query timeouts, couldn't find data formatted as a table, could not find file, data type errors. When you are importing data to Power BI, these are kind of errors you may have. Okay, so while importing data into Power BI, you may encounter errors resulting from factors such as Power BI import from numerous data sources like I've shown you. Okay, each data source might have dozens and sometimes hundreds of different error messages. Other components that can cause errors such as hard drives might be disconnected. If you are connected to SAN, there may be network problem, there may be software service that stop, there may be an operating system problem. Data can often not comply with any specific schema. These are varieties of problems you have. Query timeout is mostly hardware resources are being constrained by concurrent user using the same data source. I have one of the problems with the project I told you I'm going. When we are moving the data after a time, it's going to lock and it's just be rolling and rolling. Okay, and it's not going to move any data. Resources have been masked out. And later in one of the analysis, I discovered that the CPU is being maxed out at 100%. When your CPU is 100%, what will it use to, what resources will it use? None. Okay. Timeout expired. Okay. Indicates that you have put too much data according to your organization policies. Okay. The policy of the organization will tell you the volume of data you can pick. Guys, don't joke with data governance and privacy team in your job, please. Okay? Couldn't find data. Power BI expect to find data formatted as a table from Excel. It's possible they've lost connection. It's possible they move the worksheet to another place or they move the record to another place. Those could be the causes. They could not find your file. Probably it's been moved or deleted, caused by the file moving location or the permission of the file changes. Maybe they run or patches that changes the permission. Data type errors. Maybe you are importing string or number on string. Okay, so the resolution to these errors is unique to the data source. The list isn't exhaustive. There are many, but shows common errors that we can encounter. Okay. Do you understand all I explained in there?
Yes.
So, what type of import error might leave a column blank? Can you guess? Let me take you back. Look at some of the errors displayed for you now. Data source error, timeout expire, duplicate error, load was cancelled by error in loading, invoice load has been cancelled by error in loading, date load was cancelled by error in loading. Okay, just few of them.
It's the second one.
Eh?
It's the second one.
I can't hear you.
The second one.
The second one, what's the second one?
Couldn't find the data as formatted in the table.
So how do you capture that properly? Data error. Data type error.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you are importing a wrong data, it's not going to import, it's going to leave it blank for you. Okay? So let's go over. This is what we'll cover in our class today. The following concept: getting data from various data sources, optimizing performance of the data you are getting, and resolving errors. Okay? There is a lab which I jumped for next class. Let me just give you a tip of what we will do in our next class, and we'll close the chapter today. Any question? In our next class, we are going to look at cleaning and transforming data. Cleaning and transforming data. That is what we are going to look at in our next class. Okay? Cleaning and transforming data. We will run through the theory, then I will take you to the practical of the class. Let me just stop there. Question? We've already spent 2 hours. Let's enjoy the beauty of our class today. By next week. Any question for me?
Can I please ask a question before you go?
Please go ahead.
So I know you mentioned quite a number of database from where data can be sourced. Are there any ones that you can recommend that would maybe have sample data that we can use to practice on Power BI?
Definitely, we are going to make use of SQL database.
Okay, thank you.
We are going to make use of CSV. Don't worry, our lab is orchestrated lab. You will have data that there is data for us to work with, to practice. And as you progress in the class, you go out there and get data that we can work with at the end of the day. Okay, don't worry, you get clear of those things as you progress.
Oh.
Before our next class, have they added you to Telegram group?
Yes, of course, we have a data analyst Telegram group.
I will confirm from Wumi because is it the last one? Because the one I have coming.
No, it's a new one. Yeah, I told her to send you because I don't have your number, so I couldn't add you to the Telegram group, but I've asked her to add you. I'll send her a reminder.
No, let me quickly do that. Yeah, let me put it Is it my WhatsApp number you need?
I don't know if you're on
I'm adding you
Telegram.
already.
Oh, you've added me already.